How's it going, everybody? RazingHel here, and today I'm going to be showing off a couple of little tricks that involve bees. So right now we're in the springtime, and as you might be aware, in the springtime all bees will be aggressive that emerge from the hive, whether or not you've actually aggroed the hive. So in other words, this bee right here that's currently pollinating nothing in the ground, it will aggro onto the player if the player gets too close. So you might be wondering, how can I go ahead and build bee boxes in such circumstances? Because they're red bees and you need regular yellow bees to actually make the bee boxes. Well, the thing is, when you capture them like that, it's actually a yellow bee. Even though it showed up as a red bee, once you capture them, they're yellow. So you don't actually have to worry about the bee color, providing it's one of the bees that does the pollinating. So that might be something that comes in useful for those of you who are wanting to build bee boxes in the spring, because obviously the spring is one of the best seasons to get bee production started. So what do we have? What else is there? Well, it's almost dusk now. And when dusk and night comes, the bees will retreat to their hives. They won't come out. So like right now, you can see dusk is falling. They're all going to their hives, except for the ones that I let go. Probably should not have done that. I let a whole bunch of them go. I shouldn't have. Okay, let me just deal with that first. Not going to be a problem. Okay, so as you can see, all of the bees went home for the night, and you might be wondering, well, do I have to wait again all the way till morning before I can catch them? No, you can actually set their beehive on fire and capture them. So one of the ways you can go about doing this is by using a ice fling-o-matic to put the fire out. Another way is using the ice staff to put the fire out, or you can just use ice itself, which is especially prominent in the winter and easy to get access to. So let's just do it with the fling-o-matic here in this case. I'm going to turn the fling-o-matic on, just like that. Then I'm going to get my torch, and I'm going to light the beehive. Now that the bees are out, I'm going to go ahead and capture this one that the fling-o-matic froze, and as you can see, it was just a regular yellow bee. Let's capture this one as well. There we go, another yellow bee. So as you can see, it's quite easy to get access to yellow bees. Like right here are a couple of frozen yellow bees. I can just catch them right off the ground like that. No problemo. So it's pretty easy to get access to yellow bees regardless of the season you're in. Like this will also work in winter. Winter is when bees will never normally come out of their hive because they're hibernating. And you can use the same tactic, although, you might not have access to an ice fling-o-matic, so you can use ice instead. Ice is easily mined in the winter because my ice is pretty much all over the place. And you can use that. So just like that, that's how you can go ahead and get bees out of the hive. As you can see, it's night and the bees are out of the hive. Of course, they'll go back. As soon as they lose aggro onto me, they'll go ahead and go back into the hive. But that gives you quite a bit of opportunity to actually go ahead and capture them if you're fast enough. Like right here, there we go, got another bee. Obviously, the bees that come out of the hive to defend against that will be red bees. So I do that. You can see I got a killer bee instead of a regular bee. So just something to keep in mind. And once again, it's important to remember that this is certainly possible to do during the winter as well. So that pretty much expands your limitations to when you can build a beehive to pretty much any time during the year at any time of day. And I thought that was just a useful tidbit, because what happened was recently I was watching a stream, and somebody was trying to harvest some bees, and it was like, well, is another bee going to come out of the hive? I'm waiting for another bee to come out of the hive to pollinate a flower so I can catch it. And I said, well, why don't you just go ahead and set the hive on fire? It'll chase all of them out. And some people didn't think you could. Some people apparently in the stream thought that if I went ahead and lit a beehive on fire, the bees that would come out would be angry bees, but that's not the case, and this applies to both Don't Starve Together as well as Don't Starve. Really, the only difference you're going to be noticing between the two games is how quickly fire spreads. So in Don't Starve Together, you have a lot more time to actually control the fire spread. In Don't Starve, like Reign of Giants, you're going to have to pretty much be on your toes. Like an ice fling-o-matic is an excellent option here. I really like the ice fling-o-matic because, as you might have noticed, it froze the bees as well. So not only did those bees exit the hive, but then they're frozen in place, ripe for the picking, essentially. So this works in both Don't Starve, Reign of Giants, as well as Don't Starve Together. Just slightly different fire spread rates. I don't know what we want to call the fire spread rate. Some people have nitpicked my use of the term fire spread rate. The point is, there is a smoldering element in Don't Starve Together, there's a smoldering element in Don't Starve Together, which results in it taking longer for things to start on fire. Like, it won't just immediately spread, it will smolder for a bit first. And because of that smolder element, you're going to have to be more careful when you're doing this in Don't Starve Reign of Giants. Yeah, so I guess those are kind of my thoughts on that subject. Feel free to let me know in the comments section below what your experience has been in regards to setting beehives on fire and capturing the resulting bees. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.